Good evening, members, and welcome. Good evening. We're not expecting a fire drill this evening, so if the fire alarm goes off during the meeting, please leave by the nearest emergency exit and make your way to gather outside to Runnymede Hall. Thank you. Cabinet members, please introduce yourself as listed on the agenda, starting with Councillor Warren Gibson.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Councillor Warren Gibson. I'm portfolio holder for strategic planning.
Thank you, Chairman. Councillor Michael Fuller, portfolio holder for environment.
Evening all, Councillor Tom Gibson, Cabinet Member for Special Projects and Assets.
Good evening all, Councillor Rob Lillis, Cabinet Member for Health, Wellbeing and Housing.
Thank you. Good evening, Councillor Steve Mountford, Cabinet Member for Resources.
And
hello and good evening, Councillor Barry Palmer, Economic Growth and Climate.
Councillor Ross Savage, Cabinet Member for People and Community.
Thank you, members. And I'm Councillor Dave Blackwell, Leader of the Council. Agenda item 1, apologies for absence. Have we any apologies? No, there are no apologies for absence. You're all here. Agenda item 2, declarations of interest. Members, do you have any interest to declare? No? No interest to declare. Agenda item 3, minutes of the meeting held on the 13th of August. Members, are the minutes of the meeting held on the 18th of September agreed? Is that agreed, members? And it's agreed that I sign the minutes as being correct. Thank you. Thank you very much, members. Members, agenda item 4, members' question of notice. Members, there are none. Agenda item 5, Canvey Island Town Centre Market Report and proposed next step. Before I call in Councillor Palmer, I'd like to call in Amanda Parrott. There's a few items not quite correct on the agenda item. Thank you.
Yep, thank you, Leader. So, members, in the process of publishing this report, option 4 has been lost. In paragraph 7.4, quite clearly the recommendation as per paragraph 3, which is the recommendation section of the report, is not to do the minimum. In fact, the recommendation and the whole report talks about doing more. The text should read, option 4, do more. Use UK SPF to deliver a programme of capital improvements set out in Appendix 2 to improve the existing Thursday market and introduce a new market on Saturdays from the spring of 2025. Improvements will also be made to the promotion and marketing of both the Thursday and new Saturday market in line with the recommendations and conclusions contained in the study report. The recommendation and the rest of the report is unaffected by this error. Councillor Palmer will now present the rest of the report.
Thank you. Councillor Palmer.
Thank you, Leader. Thank you, Amanda. This report is regarding Canvey Island Town Centre Market Report and the proposed next steps. The report explores the recommendations contained in the retail report on Canvey Island Town Centre Market, future strategy and action plan, and seeks Cabinet approval to take forward a range of improvements and expenditure to deliver the priority actions. It links to the Council's priorities and objectives. This project links the Corporate Plan 21 to 24, Priority Area 1, Economy and Growth, and the Productivity and Business Growth objectives, and forms part of our work on regeneration of town centres. This report sets out a proposal to refresh the Canvey Island Town Centre market. The need for a market was originally established back in 2018 and approved by Cabinet. The existing Thursday market was established in 2020 as part of an EU regulation project, but it has struggled post-COVID to establish itself. A number of stallholders has reduced and only a minority of customers visit the market regularly. With Cabinet approval and using UK Shared Prosperity Fund, Levelling Up as most know it, has provided an opportunity to review the market and do a detailed study, an analysis and report of the street market, and they were prepared as per Appendix 1. The research in the report show there remains a clear desire for those surveyed for a good quality market on Canvey Island Town Centre. The existing funding from UK SPF will not deliver all the actions set out in the market refresh study, so it is not possible to implement its recommendation in whole at this time. Officers will need to continue to investigate how other funding opportunities can be secured to deliver the full suite of recommendations. The certainty and timescales of future funding streams will become more apparent after the government has set its budget and completes its spending review. Surveys of residents, businesses and stakeholders alike have been carried out with good results and providing excellent responses based to develop and the analysis and recommendations. Conclusions. There was universal support and demand for all groups for the market to trade on Thursday and a Saturday, with Saturday being the main day. Improving the existing offer and introducing an additional trading day on a Saturday will help the market draw more people into the town centre and, of course, the local businesses as well. Unfortunately, there are many consumers and residents who do not currently use the market. The market is linked by the customers that use it only on a minority of customer visits and not on a regular basis, and we need to increase the appeal of the market to the town centre. Marketing and promotion are noted as particular weaknesses there's clear lack of branding. The current licence agreement is under review and is linked to proposed improvements in the public realm, which will benefit the traders and the wider community. The new Knightswick Centre management team have highlighted that they propose to work closely with the new market and the officers and are waiting for them to discuss options and work closely with the market, subject to suitable funding being identified. Additional business support has been developed with linkages to our social media and business support offering for new traders. The market and traders have now been included on a separate page on our Choose Local website. The recommendations are: it is proposed that the Cabinet resolves to note the draft report submitted by the Retail Group Limited, which provided a detailed analysis of Canvey Island Town Market following an extensive consultation of residents, businesses, traders and stakeholders, and includes conclusions and a future strategy with recommendations in the form of an action plan as set out in Appendix 1. To note the budget plan to address some of the priority actions set out in the report recommendations and which can be funded using existing US KPF fund, which currently stands at £50,000, as set out in Appendix 2. To authorise officers to implement the plan based on the ability to deliver near-term benefits, delivering in small packages procured in accordance with the current procurement regulations before the 31st of March 2025. And as previously said by Amanda, our recommendation is option 4 of the options, that we do more and use the US KPF fund to deliver the programme. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Palmer. Members, is it noted item 1 and 2? I will move the recommendation 3. Do I have a seconder?
Yes, Chair, I'll second it.
Thank you, Councillor Gibson. Members, is that agreed? Thank you very much. Agenda item 6, Essex Local Transport Plan. Councillor Warren Gibson, please introduce this item.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Back in the summer, Essex County Council undertook an initial consultation on the Local Transport Plan 4. The Local Transport Plan sets out how transport will be delivered in Essex into the future. The consultation set out the key themes and outcomes to be achieved through the Local Transport Plan at a high level. The key themes to this were supporting people, health, well-being and independence, creating sustainable places and communities, connecting people, places and businesses. Fundamentally, these themes are responsible and respond to the issues residents are raising through the Castle Point Plan. However, the document also set out some key activities around these themes which lacked detail and were not ambitious or forward-thinking. To this end, I issued a portfolio holder response to the consultation, suggesting a range of more ambitious activities that could transform transport activities in Essex, and especially here in Castle Point, including congestion relief at key junctions and on key routes, and improved access for Canvey. These measures are crucial for ensuring local people have access to jobs and training opportunities. The consultation also set out a new proposal for classifying roads, looking at not only how cars use them, but also how pedestrians use space. This is a place-making approach which is genuinely in line with what we are looking to achieve in Castle Point. However, through the consultation, I made it clear that highways maintenance must not be downgraded due to this reclassification process. Due to the timing of the consultation over the summer and for only 6 weeks, I issued a response for Castle Point through a portfolio holder decision. However, transport is a really important local issue and it would have been better to involve other members of the Cabinet or Scrutiny in the process had we had time or notice of the consultation. We have been able to do justice for the latest report on the local nature recovery strategy because we had the notice. The report therefore recommends that as the County Council moves to prepare the action plan element of the local transport plan, that we write to them asking we are fully involved in the local transport plan as it is progressed so that we can better represent the concerns and aspirations of local residents in Castle Point. There's 2 recommendations set out in the report. The first one is that the Cabinet notes the portfolio holder decision, setting out a response to the consultation on the Essex Transport Strategy Part 1 consultation, and the second, that the Cabinet requests that the County Council fully involves members of Castle Point Borough Council in the development of the Essex Transport Strategy, including the area-based plan that covers Castle Point.
Thank you, Councillor Gibson. Members, is item 1 noted on the report? I will move from the Chair recommendation 2. Do I have a seconder? So, Councillor Fuller, thank you very much. Is that agreed, members?
Agreed.
Thank you very much, members. Agenda item 7, proposed reforms to the National Planning Policy Framework and other changes to the planning system. Councillor Warren Gibson, please introduce your item.
Thank you, Chairman. The purpose of this report is to ensure that the Cabinet is aware of the proposed reforms to the National Planning Policy Framework and other changes to the planning system, which will have, if adopted by the Government, potential implications on plan making and on the decisions taken on planning applications. The National Planning Policy Framework has since 2012 provided national policy upon which local plans are based. It is also a significant material planning consideration in the determination of planning applications. It was last updated in December 2023 by the previous Government. On the 30th of July of this year, the Government published a consultation on its proposed approach to revising the National Planning Policy Framework. The consultation also sought views on wider policy proposals in relation to increasing planning fees, local plan intervention criteria and threshold for certain nationally significant infrastructure projects. The consultation period was from the 30th of July until 24th of September, occurring over the summer period. A response to the consultation was therefore issued again via me as a portfolio holder decision on the 20th of September 2024. At this time, the proposals were set out in the NPPF consultation published on 30th of July are just proposals. Until the final NPPF is published, which is expected towards the end of the year, we will not know which proposals the Government will choose to take forward or not, and whether any of the proposals will be amended. Once the final NPPF is published, we will undertake a full risk assessment to understand its implications for the Council as a local planning authority and more broadly. Again, on this one, there is the one recommendation is that the Cabinet notes the portfolio decision, setting out a response to the consultation on proposed reforms to the National Planning Policy Framework and other changes to the planning system.
Thank you,
Chair.
Councillor Gibson. Thank you, members. Are there any questions? No question, members. Is that noted? Thank you very much. Agenda item 8, matters referred from the Climate Policy and Scrutiny Subcommittee, and I'm pleased to welcome Councillor Edwards as chair of the subcommittee to give his report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leader. At our meeting on the 17th of September, the Climate Policy and Scrutiny Committee considered a draft response to Essex County Council's consultation on a draft local nature recovery strategy, the LNRS. This aims to identify strategic wildlife and nature areas in the borough and opportunities to create, to increase their size and to create better, more connected habitats. So we've heard this referred to as wildlife corridors, so linking up these areas of good biodiversity. And it also aims to link to the biodiversity net gain policies which we're developing by directing increases in biodiversity into these identified areas. And it also provides incentives for this. And with planning considerations in mind, it equally aims to direct development away from these identified areas. So once the LNRS is adopted, it will therefore have an impact on our future planning policy and decisions. We considered the proposals and the subcommittee amended the suggested response from officers, and that is included in Appendix 2 with track changes. We suggested amendments in particular to request more detailed mapping. The maps based on a sort of hexagon model. These are quite large, which in our very dense urban area doesn't actually help you identify some of the smaller specific areas. So smaller hexagons being used for the mapping, which should be relatively simple to do, would allow more accurate representation of areas and also clarify the boundaries, because particularly around the marine areas, the boundaries between coast and land are not particularly distinct, which I think has led to some of the other problems we picked up. We requested additional areas around the Dawes Heath living landscape as a site selected by the local authority be included, along with Thundersley Glen, Thundersley Common and the land between Benfleet and Thundersley water towers, basically trying to work across the borough, linking up the areas of woodland from one side of the borough to the other. And also include Felstead Road Woods, which is the area behind Kent's Hill Junior School, and land north of Church Road. And we also asked for clarification of the viability of the marine habitats along Canvey oil and gas terminals, because there's heavy shipping traffic there and it's just not clear whether that's actually an area that we should be focusing on for this identification. We also queried whether the land south of Gliders, which is, as most of you know, on a steep hill, is actually going to be identified as something other than marine habitat, because that seems fairly unlikely given its location. It's probably just an error. And we requested that all of the wildlife sites which are currently in our Castle Point plan evidence be included in the strategy, because this will avoid rework and duplication of effort in the future and ensure that no sites that we're already aware of are omitted. So members, I urge you to agree the response to the consultation as amended in Appendix 2. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Edwards, for that. Members, are there any questions? Councillor Fuller.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd like to take this opportunity, it's not a question, it's just an opportunity to thank the Overview and Scrutiny Subcommittee for their excellent work, and its Chairman, Councillor Edwards, in bringing this report to us this evening. This is an important matter. We are a green borough, and it's important that we protect our environment within the borough and take any opportunities we have to enhance our natural resources. The local nature recovery strategy has the potential to help us do this, and the work of the committee will certainly help to ensure that the strategy works effectively in Castle Point. The recommendations of the committee are therefore welcomed, and I commend them to the Cabinet for approval. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you, Councillor Fuller. Members, I will move the recommendation to the response to the consultation with the response set out in Apex 2. Do I have a seconder?
Yeah, I'll happily chair that.
Thank you,
Chair.
Councillor Gibson. Members, is that agreed? Thank you very much. Thank you. That concludes the formal business for this evening, members. I declare the meeting closed at 7:20. Thank you very much.